New at 9, 2 people were arrested following multiple shooting incidents in the city of Janesville over the last week. That's according to police. This happened after Janesville police responded to 2 separate shootings starting last Sunday afternoon. A 21-year-old man was injured after being shot just before 3 p.m. on South Jackson Street. And later that night, officers responded to another shooting in a Woodman's parking lot on North Lexington Drive, which they later learned was connected to the prior incident. No one was hurt. And several days later, police arrested one of 2 suspects, a 36-year-old man who fired a gun and tried to resist arrest. After an investigation, police were later able to track down the second suspect, a 19-year-old who was arrested for attempted first-degree intentional homicide and first-degree recklessly endangering safety.